What is good, guys? It is Spirit of Paradox here and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be covering the Ultimates issue number 7, and in this issue the Ultimates are dealing with the aftermath of issue number 6, where Ultimate Hulk seemingly killed Ultimate Iron Lad. Before we start this video, if you guys are fans of the Ultimate Universe, this is the channel you want to be on. We cover the original and the new on the channel, so make sure you drop a like and subscribe. Let's begin. The story begins with Steve Rogers and Jim Hammond going on his traditional Ultimate walks. If you guys read the original Ultimates, Captain America really enjoyed going on walks in New York City, so this is a homage to that. And he's had a newspaper in his hand and he's reading it and says, "You see this? They blame us for everything but the Lincoln assassination. Where are the facts? Whatever happened to the Fourth Estate?" And Jim replies, "Where did you even find a physical newspaper? They put everything in this thing called the internet now." "Don't do that, Jim. You're as old as I am. I've been rebuilt, soup to nuts, remade for a new age. I'm with it, Steve." "People don't say that anymore." "Are you sure?" "No." And the thing is, what Dennis Camp is trying to signify here, that these two characters are like two sides of the same coin. Both grew up and served their time in the World War II and have lost time and have been away for a very long time. And now that they've been awakened in this new age, they are very different on how they view it. Jim Hammond is very accepting of the future and the modern age and is willing to get with the new times, but with Steve Rogers, he feels what he's lost and is thinking about the past more than the modern time that he is in. Having that traditional conflict that Steve Rogers typically had in the original Ultimate Universe, because we've really got to see it a lot more in depth compared to 616 in my opinion, but I think, come on, it should be around here somewhere. Everything's so different. The city was always changing, even in our day. They have maps on phones now. I don't need a map or a phone. I just need to get my bearings. Well, you better find them fast, Steve. What's that supposed to mean? They are all looking to you for leadership, especially with Tony gone. I know that. But do you? Asks Jim. Hey, we're here. I told you I knew where I was going. And then we see a store called Macaulay's Old Ale House since 1853. In the next page, Jim and Steve have found a table and begin to start talking. Man, does this bring back memories? The TV news. I don't think I ever made it here. It took a while to get the hang of eating and drinking without vomiting up superheated plasma. But then Steve mentions Bucky, and it's a bit of a shame because I don't think he knows that Bucky's been killed off in this universe when we go back and look at the hit list the Maker had. Bucky and I used to sneak in when we were still in high school. It was old back then. Old Macaulay had a newspaper article from 1815 announcing Napoleon's defeat at Waterloo, plastered up in the John Guinea article. And Steve reveals to Jim, "I got beat up pretty near to death in that corner over there by some guys, recruiting for the AMP. I was 16 and stone cold sober when I threw my first punch. I guess now it's technically a historical site." Look, Steve, you and I both know where this is going. War is coming. A fire will grow. We've been through this before, but the others? You saw how shaken they were after Tony. They're not used to losing people. They aren't ready for it. Then we'll get them ready. I wish we didn't. Me too. And this is signifying what's gonna come when the Maker finally arrives, this time next year. So in December, a big war is probably gonna come out and the Maker is gonna be pissed. We never got to make that toast to new beginnings, says Steve. And as someone comes up with their drinks, they notice the television. And we can see that Matt Murdock is making an anniversary speech to the terror attack that happened in the first Ultimate Universe one-shot, where Ultimate Hulk fired the Stark-and-Stain laser beam at the city, causing the deaths of hundreds, if not thousands, and blaming it on the Ultimates. But Matt Murdock says, "The crowd is large, a big show of solidarity, despite the rumors of the planned anniversary attack from the Ultimates terrorist network. Remember the thousands senselessly lost, literally hundreds of thousands of mourners here today." And as the two make their toast, Jim says, "Just doesn't seem right now. How about to all the ones who don't get saved? We are so sorry. And to Tony, who brought us together, we'll try not to let you down." And the speech continues. "I pray for them, all those we have lost. I pray for them every day," says Matt Murdock. "You know, a part of me thought we should be there. No, the kind of security they've got, you'd have to be some kind of fool to go in person." In the next page, we go to the speech and we find out that Hank and Janet Pym are there. 1 year later, and I still don't understand the darkness that drives men to this, to make their point with the deaths of thousands. Now we know this destruction comes with an ideology, a movement of hate. That's what Kamala Harris said, and look how that turned out. Lol. But in the face of hate, what else can we do but fully commit ourselves to love and forgiveness, and pray for them? Yes, even them. Maybe we shouldn't have come. It was your idea in the first place, Hank. I didn't think anyone could recognize us. We left our costumes at home. We're just Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne. Regular people coming to pay our respects, like thousands of others. But the thing is, the crowd responds negatively towards Matt Murdock's speech, with people shouting, "Boo, F that, they killed my son, and I miss my wife." They really hate us, huh? They don't know us. They don't understand what we're trying to do. Yeah, maybe. What happened here? It wasn't about us. You know that, right? It was a little about us. I just thought it would be good for, well, after everything we've been through lately with Tony and you almost died, Jan. But I didn't die. I'm okay. Don't pretend everything's fine. But everything is fine. But the thing is here, as these two are having their little qualm, we get a panned in view to sponsored by Oscorp. So I'm guessing this is going to be more foreshadowing towards that company. Believe it or not, Oscorp is really associated with the Osborns, and we have Ultimate Spider-Man. And forgive me, I still need to catch up because I'm a little bit behind. But so far from what I can remember, barely anything has happened with Oscorp. So if there has something with Oscorp in this universe that has happened, please let me know. The things we've seen, the things we've done. Please, Hank, not this again. People have died because of us, Jan. Innocent people, directly or indirectly. Don't pretend it doesn't bother you. I know you're not sleeping. I know you're not sleeping because I'm not sleeping. How long do you think we can keep this going? And the thing is, Jan doesn't say anything to that one. I just thought it would be good if we could mourn together or something, I guess. I don't know. It was stupid. No, it was a good idea, Hank. Genius, actually. And then she gives him a kiss. Besides coming back from heaven, that is. And again, we get another close-up shot of the Oscorp name, and this is teasing the potential feud between the Green Gimp, Harry Osborn, and the Ultimates, because Harry Osborn believes that the Ultimates are responsible for killing his family, but really it wasn't the Ultimates, it was Ultimate Hulk using the Stark Stain giant laser beam from outer space. In the next page, this is where we catch up with racist Hawkeye, and as we see, there's loads of security guards knocked out on the ground, while one of them is saying, "Please don't, we don't want any trouble, we just work here." Hey, you're just a kid. Just tell us what we gotta do so we can get out of here alive, says one of the workers. And racist Hawkeye tells them, "Stay very still." And the thing is, the security guard goes off on the worker and tells him, "You don't know what you're doing." Shut up, Gary. These weapons are bound for the upper and lower kingdoms. There's a war going on down there, a secret war. This is referring to Ultimate Black Panther if you didn't know. There is a war going on between Wakanda and Khonshu. But that's a world away. Nothing to do with you or me. Not your fight or mine. But Hawkeye tells him, "Actually, what I'm coming to realize," and then he lets go of an arrow, firing off multiple in fact, and all three of these arrows basically barely hit this security guard's head, but land on these crates and start beeping. And when they detonate, they cause a massive explosion in this warehouse. And Hawkeye lets them know it's all one fight. So the next section is about America Chavez. I'm gonna be 100% with you. I never really liked this character. The only time I've really known about this character was in Al Ewing's The Ultimates, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and this. I don't even know a single America Chavez comic, so I'm not really going to go in depth with this character. Honestly, I'm wondering why she's even on the team. But anyway, there is a protest going on somewhere in the world, and the person who is narrating is basically a little girl who's in the perspective of this thing. And then guards show up trying to be bad, stopping the people from rightly protesting, and then America Chavez pops up and stops the bad guys by melting them and then freezing them in place and then teleporting all of the civilians to safety. Sorry people, but you're never gonna get me to like this character. Next. Into the next section, this is where we follow up with Ultimate Thor and Lady Sif, and this page teases a lot of things. First of all, it's the tree of Yggdrasil, and it looks like it has giant infinity stones in it. But the dialogue says, "What did you say to Doom, Sith?" "I told him that there were 9 realms, and that we have tarried too long in Midgard while neglecting the others. I told him that we would travel to Yggdrasil, sowing chaos, spreading discontent, and raising armies. I told him we would deliver to All-Father Loki, the master of chaos, a taste of his own medicine." And his response? "I don't know. I didn't bother to wait for it. The Asgard rebellion begins now. So, where should we start, Thor?" And as we see, this is the tree of Yggdrasil, and they're going to this tree to use it somehow to defeat All-Father Loki, the Master of Chaos. So, in this universe, Loki will be the All-Father of Asgard, so he would have the same power levels as Odin, and he is also the Master of Chaos. And if we remember back in Ultimate Invasion issue number 2, the reason why Loki gained power was because of the Maker. So, what will Loki be capable of in this new Ultimate Universe? Because in the original Ultimate Universe, Loki was so broken, I even question how the hell did you even manage to lose? Because in the original Ultimate Universe, Loki was a reality warper. Like, he could simply, like, choose who could, like, see him and who couldn't see him. So he made it seem like Thor was absolutely crazy when he believed that he was Asgardian when he really was. Like, Loki was behind the scenes in the original, trying to make it look like, no, Thor is a crazy man who believes he's actually a god when he really was, but just resurrected. But in this universe, they're going a different way. He's going to be basically the man in charge of Asgard. And hopefully it's good, because they've barely done anything with Thor other than get him stabbed in the back or get his ass kicked in last issue. In the next page, we follow up with Ultimate She-Hulk and Doom, and it's not going very well. She has him by the throat. Send me back, Doom. As I said, I cannot. I have waited long enough. Your teleport network. It is not a question of capacity. If I send you back to your island, you will die. Then I will die, says She-Hulk. But Doom lets her know, not just you. They will take you immediately. Banner and his men, they will torture you until you break. They have instruments and techniques at their disposal that allow them to play through your memories like videotapes. And we saw this in Ultimate issue number 4, with the videotapes of the Maker torturing Doom in this universe. Cameras sensitive enough to take pictures of your thoughts. They will discover everything about us, including the existence of this satellite. Not just you, will all die, and our ambitions with us. And this gets through to Ultimate She-Hulk, but she tells him, my people need me. You being here is the only thing that keeps your people safe. It is the power Banner has over you, his only leverage. Then I need my people, says She-Hulk, as she tries to walk off. I am out of practice with people. I think, actually, I was never really good with them. The Ultimates was his idea. But then we see Matt Murdock again on TV when he was having his speech on Now We Know This Destruction with the Ideology and Movement of Hate moment. And She-Hulk says to Doom, and now he's left us to hold it together. Perhaps I can tap into the Hulk's surveillance systems. You won't be able to be there with them, but you'll be able to see that they are safe. Thank you. That will be better, says She-Hulk. We must keep going. We owe it to him. We owe it to all of them, as they move and walk towards this golden canister. But the thing is, Matt Murdock's speech from earlier plays again in the background, and it says, but in the face of hate, what else can we commit ourselves to but of love and forgiveness, and pray for them? And then we find out, in this golden canister, Tony Stark, aka Ultimate Iron Lad, is hooked up to it and is still alive, but still badly damaged. We see that this machine's hooked up into his body and has a reactor somewhere in his chest, and potentially might have more cybernetics compared to your traditional Tony Stark. But in the original Ultimate Universe, like, Tony Stark was basically one giant brain. Like, his whole body was a brain and that, but that got retconned and later down the line. But we might actually have like a cyborg Ultimate Iron Man or Iron Lad. And that is where Ultimate issue number 7 ends. So that was Ultimates issue number 7, and I have got to say, I really did enjoy this issue. Even though not a lot was going on, it's mainly a character development story. It's about different members of the team processing the death of Tony Stark and the beating they got from the non-Hulk. Or I'd rather just call him Ultimate Thanos personally. So yeah, Ultimate Thanos kicked their ass last issue, and basically they're all processing it and just seeing how the world reacts to them. Like we saw Jim Hammond and Steve going on those traditional Ultimate Universe walks Steve Rogers would normally go on, and they basically like talk to each other about their grievances and how they react to the world that surrounds them. Because you got to remember, Steve Rogers and Jim Hammond are not from this time era. They were from the 1940s, and then obviously got frozen somehow, and then basically got revived in the 21st century. We see how Jim Hammond is responding to this new age quite positively, and he actually embraces this new age. And for him being an android, he can download the internet into his system by just getting a few upgrades to the android himself, and he can be up to date with everything going on in the modern world in just a few seconds. With Captain America, we still have that traditional, longing for the past, or, he's still mourning that he's lost like he's basically lost his life. But in this, it's slightly toned down. Like it isn't um, as miserable compared to the original, because like in the original Ultimate Universe and we had this story plot with Steve Rogers, it really got to him that he is a man out of time. Like it really bothered him and he was really depressed about it. But in this universe he does have a bit more of a upliftful tone, even though he is mourning like he has lost time and his old life. And we do need to see a little bit more, but it does seem like Captain America is a little bit withdrawn in this universe. Then we've got Janet and Hank Pym, very straightforward couple, I would say. They have their traditional grievances, hopefully not as bad as in the original Ultimate Universe. But then again, people actually give Hank Pym shit for the original Ultimate Universe, when it's like, you do realize the whole domestic abuse thing originated in the original main Marvel universe. So, like some people give Ultimate Giant Man shit when we all know that like Hank Pym was doing that decades before either of us were born. So let's not be acting like the original Hank Pym was just completely bad, when he was for the most part. But in this universe, this is a loving couple. They have their differences, but they manage to come together, and it's a much better relationship compared to the main Marvel or the original Ultimate Universe, in my opinion. I still don't really like the Giant Man suit. I thought I was going to like the suit, but after seeing the new suit, I actually don't. I think it's too MCU based, in my opinion, but I'll get to that in another video one day. Then, as we see, we had America Chavez. I'm going to be honest with you again, I am not a fan of this character, never been. I honestly do not understand why this character is popular. I have never read her own comic. I don't even know if America Chavez has ever had her own comic. I don't know any of her villains. All I know is she popped up in Al Ewing's The Ultimates, and then she popped up in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and basically hijacked like Stephen Strange's own movie when nobody was there to see her. We wanted to see Doctor Strange, and now all of a sudden she's on the new Ultimates team. It's like, I don't care that you're on the team. You should have just used somebody else, because America Chavez is just overrated. She's just known because she's, I don't know, South American, and she makes portals. Wow. We all know the only reason Marvel's pushing her is simply because of her race. Like seriously, does this character have a classic run? Like, Siri, I'm not actually being sarcastic, I'm being genuine. What comic book does she have that everybody praises? You know, every character in Marvel has at least one comic run that everyone praises. Nobody has a single. I don't know anyone who read an America Chavez comic. I don't think anybody except me who knows about America Chavez, and I know fuck all about the character. But anyway, don't know why she's here, but yeah, she's here. Then we had Ultimate Thor and Lady Sith, and I was very impressed with this part of the comic, and I would like to see more personally out of Ultimate Thor, because in my opinion, he's just been handled very poorly in the new Ultimate Universe. He's been getting his ass kicked left, right, and center, and barely had any presence in the new Ultimate Universe. So I hope they can really fix upon that. I think, yeah, Ultimate Thor needs a lot of work because he's literally a background character. He has no actual presence on the team. So I really do hope, yeah, man, give Ultimate Thor some justice. And please, can we get Ultimate Mjolnir back? Or for those, Stormbreaker. Ultimate Thor is supposed to have Stormbreaker. On regular main Marvel Universe, Thor has Mjolnir. That is what keeps the two different. When you don't, like, literally, he has no presence on the team because he's not distinct enough. He's just a Thor with no personality. Ultimate Thor has personality, and his personality came with that axe. You know, everybody can tell the difference between Ultimate Thor and regular main Marvel Universe Thor. When with this Thor, he's a bloody background character and nobody notices him at all. Please, can we please get Ultimate Mjolnir back? Please. Thank you. But yes, this page that we got with Lady Sif and Thor was very good. We got to see the tree of Yggdrasil, and it also seems to have Infinity Stones lodged inside of it. I could be absolutely wrong, but they look like giant Infinity Stones to me. And another thing that they have revealed in this is that Loki is All Father and the Master of Chaos. So in this universe, if Loki is going to be All Father, in the main Marvel universe, to be the All Father, you would have to be like Odin's level of power, or more recently, and in Thor main Marvel, you would typically have Thor being the new All Father of Asgard. So this Loki is definitely going to be powerful. I don't think he's going to be as powerful as the original Ultimate Loki from Ultimates 2. That Loki was so bloody broken, I even wonder how the hell did you even manage to lose? Like, he was a reality warper on the part, I would even say, with like Owen Reese, the Molecule Man, if not more powerful. Like, he was broken, and like, he could do pretty much anything he wanted to the whole universe. He was basically like a fourth dimensional being or something like that. So Loki, I don't think he will be as powerful as his original Ultimate Universe counterpart, but I certainly do think he will be like on Odin's level in the main Marvel Universe. We also did get to see Doctor Doom and She-Hulk. That was alright. But we also got to see at the very end that Ultimate Iron Lad is still going to be alive somehow. Tony Stark is still alive, but is hooked up to that machine. And I believe this is when, like, Tony Stark, typically, you know, when he gets his chest reactor, this will be his moment, I guess, looking at the image at the very end of the comic. Yeah, I believe this is how he will get that arc reactor in the chest. He might even have a little few more upgrades to his body, like he might have more than just an arc reactor. We might have a more of a cyborg Tony Stark compared to your traditional main Marvel universe, or the humanoid brain version that we got in that Ultimate Iron Man comic from the original Ultimate Universe. Does anybody remember that? That was a bonkers story. They retconned that and made that a movie set within the Ultimate Universe. So it was a movie that like Tony Stark had watched. So it wasn't actually a part of the real main Marvel, real original Ultimate Universe. Sorry, but yeah, yeah, I knew Tony Stark was not going to die forever. I mean, he's Tony Stark, like he's one of the faces of Marvel, or the leader of the Ultimates or the Avengers. Of course, they're not going to kill him off. Even after the Secret Wars event in the MCU, you know they're going to recast Iron Man, right? It won't be Tony Downey or Robert Downey Jr., but yeah, still. But anyway, I would highly recommend this comic. It's a character development issue. There's not a lot of action in it, but it is really entertaining to read. So I would actually say this is one of the better comics of the run so far. But in my opinion, I think Ultimates has been quite inconsistent for me. There's some issues that I like, there's some issues that I don't like, there's some creative decisions I do like, and there's some creative decisions I don't like. So it's up and down for me. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you like this issue? Do you not? You know what to do in the comments. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you are new. And I will see you in the next one. Take care.